Hey everybody, it's Charlie with HotTipsCentral.com. I'm now in HD, and this is the first weekend with Android. Hey! So I'm actually in HD because I actually have a little bit more time today, and you can see here I'm editing a bunch of video anyway, so I thought I might as well whip out the camera, set up the tripod, and get going. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, but I'm going to try to cut it really fast so that the video doesn't take very long. So let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is a new application that I found on the App Store. Once again, it's not the App Store, it's the Android market. And it's called Zedge. You may not be familiar with Zedge, but Zedge allows you to download great wallpapers and ringtones through it. And it's very easy to set up, and it's very easy to set defaults from it. And so my home screen is now a completely different shade of awesomeness. The second thing I have right now is an amazing calendar. And while I didn't actually get a new calendar application, I did get the new Go Launcher X calendar widget, which actually works really well on my home screen. The calendar widget is very simple, very elegant, functional, and it works really well because I don't actually have to open anything up. It's already right there on my home screen. I just swipe to it and it's right there. Simply tapping on a day in the calendar gives me my entire schedule for that day. I can also create new events right from the widget, and I can get alerted right from the widget too. It's actually a pretty big step up from the functionality I got with the iPhone calendar, in a sense that it's right there on my home screen and I don't have to open an app to get it. The second thing I went to change is inside the Go Launcher X Preferences panel, where I modified how my notifications are displayed on my home screen. This was a suggestion from an actual Android user, which I find to be a little bit ironic considering that this feature is exactly what the iPhone's been doing all the time, adding badges to the icons. Still, I like it better this way. I can see what applications are demanding my attention without having to swipe down for the notification center like I had to do before. The next thing I got is a great new keyboard. I actually hated the keyboard that came with Moto Blur, but with a few suggestions from the audience out there, thank you very much, I managed to get a new keyboard. This is keyboard for Android 2.3. It's called Gingerbread Keyboard basically. It's black in color, it keeps up with my fingers really well, and it still uses that wonderful speech-to-text feature that I like. I'm noticing that the keys are a little bit smaller than what they were before, and that is sometimes a problem, but the recommended alternatives to the words that I'm typing are still pretty much spot on, and so I don't have too much of a problem when it comes to typos. The next thing I want to talk about is SMS. Now, while I don't actually have a texting plan and I don't actually use actual texting, I am fully aware that people do. And I'm fully aware that Android has things like hand-sent SMS, where you can physically respond to text messages on the fly without having to move to another app. That's really fast and it's very efficient. And so with that, even though I'm not using it, I know it exists and I know it's going to definitely increase the user experience for people who do use it. So that's going to contribute to the score raising. The last thing that I changed is with Juice Defender. I changed because I got rid of it. It was kind of pointless, it wasn't really doing anything. It may have actually even been hurting it, because now that I've got it gone, I've noticed that the battery kind of is lasting a little bit longer now. I haven't really changed anything other than removing this application, so I'm going to go ahead and say that it's more like Juice Offender rather than Juice Defender. The last thing I want to say has to do with perspective. I read an article on Techno Buffalo today, which was actually posted on a Facebook page that I'm on, that basically portrays how somebody was viewing Android and how they were kind of viewing it wrong. And I totally agree with it. Honestly, I do. I too have been guilty of looking at Android all wrong all this time. And so now I think that it's kind of changed my perspective a little bit on how things should be looked at. And I think I'm going to be grading the whole thing a little bit differently because of it. If you want to read that article for yourself and maybe change your own perspective, it's in the description below. If you feel like you're kind of lost and don't really know what's going on, go ahead and click that link up in the top corner there and check out the playlist, especially the introduction video, because that'll kind of give you a one-on-one as far as what I'm doing. As far as the ranking system goes, I'm actually going to change how it works. I don't think the current ranking system works all that well because, well, it kind of puts iPhone 4S as twice as good as the iPhone 4. And it's really not twice as good. We're going to change the way the ranking system works. I'm going to put it on a scale of 1 to 12 instead. 10 being the iPhone 4 that I'm so used to using, and iPhone 4S being a 12, which is still what I consider to be the best phone on the market today. As far as the ranking for Android so far, I'm actually going to raise that too. We're going to put that up to a 9.5. There's still some minor graphical user interface things that I don't think are quite as smooth as iOS. Icons rendering, things like that. Also, it doesn't have iMessage. So I can't quite put it at iPhone level yet. That's really all I have for today. If you have any other suggestions or comments for me, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below or on the Facebook page at facebook.com/hottip. One thing you should keep in mind though when suggesting things for me is that I'm not trying any paid applications. I'm not going to buy anything. This is basically an experiment and I'm not going to really invest too much money into it. Again, this is Charlie, a first-time Android user from HotTipCentral.com, and I will see you next time.